If you live in Rolling Dam, I might have knocked on your door today. I'm absolutely sun bleached from a 27-degree day of canvassing. But one of the things that I'm hearing regularly at the doors, and I heard it again today, is people's annoyance with the phrase that something is government funded. And I had a gentleman today at his door tell me there's no such thing as government funded, it's taxpayer funded. And I think there is a truth in that. That is the truth. But as someone who wants to be an MLA in government, I think it's important for me to commit to you the awareness that, yes, it is taxpayers' money, my money included, that we MLAs and that the government is commissioned and mandated to steward on your behalf to get you the services we need. And that is another thing that is a real point of pain and annoyance with New Brunswickers at this time. We are talking about teachers today. We've been talking about nurses. We've been talking about roads. Whatever it is, we send those taxes to Fredericton, say. I mean, it doesn't literally go to Fredericton, but we pay those taxes. And those are all departments, quite literally named departments, services that those taxes are supposed to fund. And there's literally no other choice. We can't be paving our own roads. We can't be hiring our own teachers in the public school system or fixing it ourselves or getting nurses off the, I don't know, training our own nurses. And this is part of government, the education system, the healthcare system, the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. These are the responsibility of the government to handle these things with your taxes. And so today I want to continue. There's something on the screen here by talking about how with our taxes going towards funding, supporting, increasing, and building out our K to 12 education system, a lot of people might say, critics might say, yeah, the reason why the education system is what it is today is because it is so, we just don't have the money. Okay. And again, I would love to camp here and just talk about how this current government is literally campaigning on cutting the sales tax by 2% and removing $500 million more dollars from our budget. Last year, $13.3 billion was New Brunswick budget. They want to remove $500 million of that year over year. So for example, next year, it would only be $12.8 billion when we're already saying we don't have the money. The Fredericton Chamber of Commerce assessed the 2024 budget last year when it came out. Earlier this year, actually. I think it's last year's budget. We are in this budget period right now. And they emphasized that funding education, supporting education, K to 12 public schools and post-secondary education just makes the best business sense. And that's what I want to focus today is there is actually a business case for investing in our public schools, making sure our teachers have the support they need, not just from a bleeding heart perspective or, oh, we appreciate our teachers, but sorry, we just don't have the money. It makes sense to make sure our education system is robust because that is an investment in the future and it draws people to the province. Sometimes I wonder if in 2018, I've said this before, if I knew the state of the education system and of the medical system, 86% of New Brunswickers surveyed are highly dissatisfied with their with our healthcare system. I wonder if I would have moved my family here. Now that I'm here, I love it. Don't regret it. One of the best choices I've ever made in my life. But when you're not from here and you don't know all that stuff yet, you don't know how magical and wonderful and all the things it is. That's why I'm committing to be an MLA because my wife and I and our family are going to root here forever. I live here in St. Stephen. We always joke about we're going to die in this house. So that is our commitment to it. But when you're not from here, I do wonder, would you make that commitment knowing what the statistics are? That's the kind of reason why Fredericton Chamber of Commerce, and I want to read this for you, they issued a report following the budget and they named several things. It's I don't know, maybe 10 paragraphs long, but one of the things here that I want to read it to you, education has been identified and advocated as an area of need in the budget and simultaneously a resource holding vast potential to address almost every issue in our province. That's what they're saying, can be addressed through our education system as a resource. So you need to think about that. I've said it before and I'll say it a lot. This government tends to approach every dollar that goes out as an expense, almost like, oh, reluctant. It is actually an investment, and this is what the Chamber of Commerce is saying here. The Department of Education is seeing a boost in its budget, increase of $200 million in this budget this year, so it's $1.9 billion, up from $1.7 billion in previous years. But the lack of proactive measures such as supporting expedient school construction. Okay, we need more school construction. Moncton, I believe, has a school that had over 20 portables dropped in this year. That's not adequate for anybody, students or teachers. Adequate funding to support targeted literacy and numeracy standards dating back to pre-pandemic decline. These things represent a huge gap in K-12 needs. Most concerning, there is little to no attention paid to the role of post-secondary institutions or supports for domestic students. We view any message which does not make the knowledge and innovation sectors a clear priority of our province as a missed opportunity. Okay, so that's, again, the Fredericton Chamber of Commerce says we need to build these things out so we have a solid business and economic future for our province. And one more paragraph from the report that I found very, very strong. In conclusion, we can no longer be satisfied with the achievement of facing the problems of growth instead of decline. It is critical that we change our course of action to address and actively manage these real and immediate problems of growth. Inaction only serves to send a message of negativity to those living and investing in New Brunswick now and removes us from any competition for future investments and newcomers seeking to add to our growth. We cannot stubbornly live in the realities of the past and must embrace the challenges of today by making proactive and necessary investments for our future. I just find this so striking, again, as a business person myself, someone who lives here. I know that when you invest, when you want success, you need to invest. Money needs to go out the door. And that includes the challenges of growth. And that means we need to bring really intelligent people, brave people to come to the table. And we need to make these investments. And we need to make smart choices about growth and projections into the future. Just like any business, the government needs to do the same thing. But the government is accountable to taxpayers for using that money well. And part of that is a strong education system that we don't just allow to crumble around us, and we don't allow teachers to not have what they need, including all the supports, proper compensation, etc. So that is today what I wanted to focus on, because it is not just pie in the sky, oh, this would be nice. It makes sense to invest in our students and in our teachers and our school system. Tomorrow, I'm going to wrap up this section on teachers and the education system by talking a little bit more about that report. And then, of course, a little bit more about what happened recently when the Premier assessed his idea of what's going on in our education system and how the Greens and the MLAs with the Greens will be different.